Okay, so hey guys, as you may have seen, the new White Forest cards that were just announced for the OCG were, let's just say they're pretty nice, and I'm really excited for them, but they are still a few months away, and I have been testing just briefly. I haven't done a whole lot yet because these cards are very new, but I've done some testing with some of these cards, and I've found um, a pretty cool just two card combo that I wanted to show you guys. Also wanted to go over some of the cards just really quickly. They do have replacement images right now, so if you want to, excuse me, see what the new cards look like, I'll try and find a link to have a to put in my description. But to go over a couple of them first is the main one, the best one in my opinion, is Witches of the White Forest, which is a new spell. Or sorry, it's a new field spell, and it's absolutely amazing. So this card says when this card's activated, you can add a White Forest monster from your deck to your hands. Absolutely amazing. Field spell searchers are some of the most busted cards out there, and yeah, it's just that's just amazing. But it does also say, and if you do, you cannot special summon dark monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. Now, this is both not a bad restriction, and it does kind of suck a little bit because it does mean that you have to do any Azamina plays before you go into this because Azaminas are dark. So it does kind of suck, but also it's not locking you specifically into light. It's just not dark. So that's a lot easier to get around than I think a lot of other kind of restrictions. So, it's not completely free, but um it's such a still a great effect. Then it says the first time each white forest monster you control will be destroyed by battle each turn, it is not destroyed. It's not really what the card is really like what we would really play it for, obviously, but it's a nice effect to have. Um just adds like just more annoying ways for your opponent to like have more difficulty clearing your board. So if they want to attack over your stuff and go for game, well, they're gonna have to attack over each card twice, which is kind of difficult to do that um and go for game. So and then the last effect is also really good um where it says you can target one white forest monster you control. It is treated as a tuner this turn. Now that is also really good because it means we can turn our level twos into tuners if we want. So there's going to be some really interesting plays with cards like Herald of the Arclight. I do not have that in this list. There's so many different like ways you can play this deck and different extra deck choices. Um, for me, I went for more of a build where you're trying to maybe get out Ilya Silva as your negate before the fifth summon, but you can really go a lot of different ways. But yeah, that's just a really, really nice effect. And in our combo, we will be using obviously both effects to good use. So that's one of the new cards. Then there is Diabels of the White, or Diabel of the White Witch. This is another really good card. Here, I'll put up here. It says this card is always treated as a white forest card, so it's searchable, which is amazing. And monsters you control cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects while you control two or more Diabel monsters. That would be like really, really nice if Empire was like still in the format, but it's not. So, which to be clear, I am very happy about, but no more, Raigeki my board because this is monsters you control, so just all monsters, um, which is phenomenal. But yeah, other than that, its main effect is going to be you can send a spell and trap from your hand or field to the graveyard to special summon the card, just like Elzet, which is really nice. And then if it's normal special summoned, you can add, or excuse me, you can send a Sinful Spoils or Diabel card from your deck to the grave. Um, this is decent and it's a good level 8 extender, but it's not doing anything like insanely busted. Um, but what it can do is it can send Sinful Spoils Awakening which I believe this card comes out in Supreme Darkness, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's a super. I could be wrong. I think this comes out in Supreme Darkness, but um yeah, anyway. This card says if you control a level 5 or higher illusion monster and your opponent controls 3 or more monsters, target up to 3 cards they control, return them to the hand. Um, it's a little steep of a requirement. Them having to commit to 3 monsters is something your opponent can play around. But the fact that this is so easily gettable because you can send it to the graveyard with the new Diabell, and it says if this card's in the graveyard and you control level 5 or higher illusion, which Diabell's with the White Witch is an illusion. Where are we? You can set this card. You could just set it from your grave, but banish it when it leaves the field. So it does mean that you can't set it and then use it as like uh, a cost for like your other white force effects and then add it back with Diabell. Because it's gonna be banished when it leaves. Also, actually, I think it. I don't know if you could actually technically send it because it's gonna have to go to the grave. I don't actually think you can even send it, even if you wanted to. But yeah, so just uh free, more or less free interrupt that you can still get that plays around um cards like I don't know, like Droll, because you're sending it to the grave and then setting it. Um, then we have Diabellstar, the Sin Agitator. Uh, this card is always treated as a simple spoil card, so you can send this one too. You can banish a spell and trap from your hand and or grave, special summon this card. So it's a okay extender. You don't really want to banish these, but you'll have stuff in the grave to banish for this if you want. Then quick effects. You can pay half your life points and target one card your opponent controls to destroy it. That's a pretty decent bit of interruption, but it also says then, if another Diabell monster is on the field, you can special summon an illusion or spellcaster tuner synchro from your extra deck. So then it can also summon like your Silvera, and funnily enough, it can also summon the new synchro that we'll get into in just a sec. But so yeah, it's a pretty nice bit of interruption. Whether it'll be all that worth getting out is I think will be determined, but yeah, I think it's still a really good card. And there's 2 more cards. There's a Snake Eyes Execute Dragon that we could talk about. I won't go over it for too long, but basically it's a new level 12. It's a Snake Eyes Synchro level 12 where its effect is to quick effect target a monster on the field or in either grave and place it in its owner's spell and trap zone. So it's like a very basic um, form of removal. It has a battle phase effect, which is still pretty good as well. Um, but the last card I really want to go over is the new level 4 White Forest Synchro. So this is an illusion tuner level 4. If this card is special summoned, you can target 2 White Forest monsters in your graveyard. Place them in the owner's spell and trap zone as continuous spells. Now, for White Forest specifically, this doesn't have a lot of application. However, there's a new card coming out in Supreme Darkness that says you can special summon this card by sending 2 face-up monsters from your spell and trap zone to the graveyard. So if you can summon this on your turn, you place 2 of your White Forest monsters in your spell and trap zone. Then you can just send them for free to get a level 8. And also what this means is you can if you summon this on your opponent's turn and then use its other effect, which is a quick synchro like Zapper Shrimp, which is also really good. If you use this effect, or if you summon this on your opponent's turn, you can get put 2 of your White Force cards in the spell and trap zone. But then what you can do is like if it comes back to your turn, you can immediately send them for this card, which becomes a 3000 attack body, which on summon can target face-up monster your opponent control or on the field, place it in its own spell and trap zone. So like it just instantly becomes added way of like cracking back on turn 3 if your opponent plays through any of your any of your stuff. So, and also it just puts them back there for spell and trap fodder to send, um, just for your other White Forest effects. So it's really really good. Um, and yeah, so that's kind of the gist of some of the new cards. There are some other new cards, but they weren't really worth um me looking at really. Um, Not really worth playing. So let's quickly get into the combo. Um, so this is going to be a toy box and a stellar combo, which is going to be just by far the most um value you're going to get for any combo in White Forest. So we're going to go normal summon a stellar, then the toy soldier, and summon the Sylvie. Then we'll go Sylvie to search, and then toy soldier to summon back. Um, and we're going to specifically get Tails. Now this is important because we're gonna do this. We're gonna play under Nib too, and on summon we're gonna get toy soldier's gonna search as Rusia. So we're gonna play under Nib too by summoning our Azumina. Where is it? Our Azumina Ilya Silva. I believe it's on our 5th summon, so we're gonna be Nibiru proof too. Um, if I searched the field spell here, which we can do with Sylvie, which is really good. If I did that and did the search for the monster, we'd then be locked into lights. So unfortunately, we do have to do it this way. We're going to use the effect, summon, and then this is 4 summons. And then we'll summon this on our 5th summon. Then we can go Rusia to special to get our tuner. Then the toy tank with Rusia to draw a card. Then we'll go into Arciela, which on summon can send the toy box. And now we're going to search for the field spell. Then a stellar will summon back. And then we can go into Diabel to add back the toy box, because toy box is not once per turn, which is pretty crazy. So now we're going to go toy box. Before we do anything, we're going to use tank to bring back the Azumina LZ. So this also has an effect that when it's used for as synchro material, it also gets to search a Sinful Spoil card. So we're going to end up using both its fusion effect and its synchro effect. So now we can activate this, and then we can search for LZ. Then we're gonna go back, send one of these. We've already done this, and then we can search for Diabel's the White Witch. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to make this a tuner. We can just one of our level 2s. We make it a tuner, and we can go into the new Mystic Mystery of the White Forests. We can go Chainlink 1, target these 2 to put in our spell trap zone. It doesn't really matter because they're just going to be sent instantly. And then we're going to search the Diabel Star Sim Educator because it's a Sinful Spoil card. And we're going to put these here. Then what we can do, now this all comes with how you want to play the deck. I still like running the Mannadium package because having an Omni Negate like this is just really good. So Visas Amritar will search Mannadium Reframing, which is a Omni Negate counter trap. Then let's see, what shall I do first? Then we can go Diabel's sending this, and then we can use this on play to send this. Then we'll reset the Awakening. Let's see. I'll go. Then we can go. Okay, now we're going to play. Now we're going to summon this. This is if we're gonna go all out with comboing. And we can make Hope Harbinger. Then what we can do is we can go Rusia, put back the Mystic to summon this out. We could go into like a Synchro 12. Actually, no, we can't because they're both tuners. But we can go into Silhouette Hat Rabbit. And then we go Silhouette to set this. And then um actually yeah, I think we're actually going to use this effect. We're gonna banish this. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Okay, so actually, instead of setting this, I think I've been excuse me, I think I've been liking banishing this instead as cost for the Sin Educator. So I'm gonna end up banishing this, but I really want to banish this. And so we can just imagine that this is the Mannadium reframing instead. So okay, what do we have here? We have um Omni Negate, we have a spell negate, we have Diabell, which can send the toy box to summon Zapper Shrimp or Silvera or the Mystic. The Mystic can put 2 of our things in our spell and trap zone. Then we can synchro into like the level 12 Snake Eyes Dragon. We can also Zapper Shrimp into a Chaos Angel, like, basically so many different things. We have a pop and a special summon of a synchro. We have another counter trap and Mannadium reframing, and we have a spell trap pop by summoning this, and then silhouette, or excuse me, angel statue is also a solemn judgment or a solemn warning or whatever on in a trap card. So you have a really high ceiling with just 2 cards. You're gonna run into people who are going to have interruptions though. So this is, do take this with a grain of salt because there's a lot of decks that can do a crazy amount of things if they were left uninterrupted. Um, the fact is, I think the pieces of this deck that have been added, like the field spell and like the new White Forest monster. Where is it? Oh, it's under here. Um, like these new things have made this deck a lot more capable of pushing through like interruptions. So you might not end on all of this, but you might take off like maybe the Sin Educator and the Silhouette Hat Rabbit, but you still have these plus a Mannadium reframing, like that kind of thing where you'll still have, even through like 1 or 2 hand traps, still a decent amount of board presence. I think the only thing to be worried about for a deck like this, or really any deck to be honest, is cards like the Molcharmies. That's going to be the real issue here. Um, as is the case with most decks. Same goes for Shifter. Shifter still eats up this deck, although there are a lot less Shifter decks in the meta now because Tempai's gone. Um, so yeah, there's just a couple things to keep in mind. This is just a rough combo for what I've come up with. The deck list that I'm going with um, is here. Let's sort it. Is a very just the start of something that I think might work. Things will change, and I'll definitely bring some updated videos when I come up with different ways that I feel like I want to play the deck. So, um, yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have any comments or questions or any insights of your own into the new cards or combos that you've seen or come up with, feel free to let me know. Write a comment. I'm always really happy to see all those. But yeah, but for now, I will leave it at that. And yeah, thank you guys for watching and have a great rest of your day. Peace.